Hey there and happy Tuesday. So hopefully I got my hair back in place. I went outside and picked up a few rocks and learned to drive a backhoe. So sometimes like when it comes to big equipment, it's like I'd rather do the manual labor and pick up the big rocks than I would try to learn something that's heavy equipment that I could wreck or that could hurt somebody. But I did fine. Like it was easier than I thought, and I was expecting it to be a stick shift, and it wasn't like that at all. So now I can add that to my resume of like things that I now know how to do, right? So I have a picture posted here on my Facebook page of me driving that. Actually not driving. I said, hey honey, will you take a picture once I get this thing stopped? So he did. So there you have it. But I am here giving you some inspiration using the citrus blooms. So this is one of the bundles that is on last chance, and if you're interested in the citrus blooms, it is less expensive to buy the stamps and the dies separately. I did the pricing out before I came live for you guys. Hi there, Tabitha. So let me get my camera turned around. Today is going to be a coloring day. My goal, if the guys out in the field allow me, we're going to have a double feature day. I have things geared up, but sometimes just running and doing the things. I already know that there's enough food in the fridge for leftovers, so I won't have to cook. So that's always a fun thing. Tell me, does your family like leftovers, or do they not like leftovers? Like, I think our family has always really liked leftovers, and I always think certain things have a better flavor the next day, and they're just as tasty. And a lot of times, especially my boys would be like, oh good, there's leftovers of this, like then I can eat it again. They get excited about that. But a lot of people, they aren't that way. They toss everything, or they make sure that they only cook enough so that there aren't leftovers too. So tell me what you guys, team leftover or team no way. Okay, so here we have it. The citrus blooms, like I said, the stamp set is here. It's got some great citrus oranges on here, and I've been eating oranges. A friend of ours came back from Texas with the fresh oranges, and so I'm trying to eat like 1 or 2 of those a day because there's quite a few, and my husband being diabetic shouldn't really eat any unless he's like running low, and so I feel like it's kind of my job to eat the really good fruit. And so there's those big beautiful images there. Hello, all the love, you're the best kind of person, just checking in. So I had sent out quite a few of these types of cards, just checking in last year after the flooding in our area, just with people, just to kind of give them a little bit of notes, to show that I cared, even if I wasn't helping at the time or couldn't help everyone. The blooms have these gorgeous like background image, or like background cuts on them for doing like a leaf. And then this one, I thought on my desktop I had cut this out so you could see the fun like stitching dots on it. It basically is the size of a card front, and then this can nest in there because they pair together well. But I have that packed away for this end of this week, my crafting retreat. So since I'd cut them out and didn't use them, I'm like, I'm going to use it. And then this is one of those things, flip it over. There's a double sheet of all the extra little flowers and leaves. And then I love it when you can die cut multiples at a time. And then this is for the larger citrus gathering. I'm using the smaller one today. So those that came to my house got to make this card, and I think that they will be glad that we stuck with just the single instead of coloring in 3 of the oranges. And if you were here, hi there, Kathy. Kathy was here. She will probably agree. The coloring lesson I'm going to give you was kind of fun for them, maybe kind of torturous for them. There was a lot of coloring, but I tried to help them to give them success. And if anybody's fruit looked too damaged or bruised, I fixed that for them if they allowed me to do that. Hello there, Rosina. Good to see you on here too. Rosina was at my house. Okay, so let's do the building up of the card first. So I've got my color combination, and that whole suite in the annual catalog that's soon to be retiring has the yellows and the blues together. Just love that Mediterranean look. So we've got Night of Navy, and then the Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper that is carrying over. So if you don't see things in the next annual catalog and you're not finding them on Last Chance, they might be carrying over just online. So that tells me a lot of people probably have this bundle, but they need some more of the paper. And so Stampin' Up! Says, yes, we know you love the paper, so we're going to keep carrying that, even though the dies, let me bring back the dies. So the dies are going to be, are right now, they are $30.10. The stamp set, oh shoot, there's that washi tape I was looking for the other day. It just knocked over, attached to some white strips of paper over there. So the Citrus Bloom stamp set is $26. That is not marked down, the dies are. So this is a $62 bundle, but if you buy them for $26 and $30.10, you're only paying $56.10. So there's a little bit of savings if you buy them separate. So that's what I wanted to let you guys know. Hello there, Lynette. Okay, so to start this off today, I have Night of Navy cardstock opening up this way. And my next layer, actually I have two the same size, 4 by 4 by 5 1/4. Hello there, Jill. And so one's for the inside, one's for the outside. And so I can just go right ahead and get some adhesive going for the outside. And this does a nice job of making the next layer pop, and also to bring in the fun Mediterranean blooms with that white kind of tile pattern. There's those lemons on the other side. Through Stampin' Up!, I am blessed to have earned an incentive trip to Sorrento, Italy, where they grow these huge lemons and everything's the limoncello and everything. So this just spoke to me because not everybody gets to earn these trips, and I never take that for granted. So when I think that's why this whole suite is special to me. The next layer that I'm going to do here then is 3.75 by 5, and it's that 3D fern embossing folder. And this is on the Last Chance. It is not marked down yet, so it's still the same price, but it's showing up as Last Chance. So I'm going to, got some stickiness on my finger, kind of stuck, because you know why, it's that 3D embossing folder, and so sometimes the adhesives just kind of like to come up off of that, so we'll see. All right, and then this strip is the same width, so this is cut 5 inches. Oh, look at that, just to have that in yellow on there. Gosh, I didn't even realize how pretty that looked. If I was doing lemons and coloring those on top, that'd be great, but since I'm doing orange, I don't know if that'll coordinate. But anyway, let me give you the measurements. 2 1/4 by 5 inches. So 2 1/4 by 5 inches. And let me put that. Oh, and you know what I did, guys? I think it'll be okay. I am putting all this together, and then I am seeing my ribbon, okay? But my ribbon I can put on and just wrap it around the whole card. It's not like it's going to close up the card. Sometimes it could if you don't think ahead, but I originally had the ribbon just going around the white, the basic white layer there. All right, so let's do some stamping. I'm going to get out my Memento ink pad here, and I just have a strip, a big chunk of basic white, and because this is a larger stamp, I just like to kind of tap and even do a little twisting on there with the Memento. And then I'm just going to get that on and press down firm because it's large to make sure I have it all on there. There we go. And then I'm going to just do this stamping too. Gosh, this is bugging me. Hopefully I got it all off that little piece of cardstock that was like taped onto my finger. There we go. Okay, so you're the best kind of person. How fun. Wouldn't you love to receive a card with somebody telling you that? All right, so I'm pulling over just this little rectangle. It's stitched, This is from Nested Essentials Dyes. I use the Nested Essentials Dyes quite a bit, so I'm glad to see that they are carrying over. And that just kind of fits in there. What I love about using this navy on here, or excuse me, the Memento Black, is it's going to look like navy when you put it with that. A lot of times I can get away with interchanging those colors when I'm using the navy background or the cardstock too, so that's always fun to know. So let's give this a run through with the citrus dyes. You can see all of these markers lined up so you knew what you were getting into, right? It's like I said, if I can squeeze a double feature in today, that one's going to have coloring in it as well. Okay, and let's line that up. Yeah, my camera really close because, like I said, Facebook kind of changed the angle, or just kind of the screen area, I guess is maybe the best way to do it. And so I feel like it's close, but just here in a minute, then I won't adjust it while I color this in. Okay, so let's start with the easy parts. All right, easy is always good. So I've got a couple of the greens. Here, they're the dark old olive and the light old olive. So I'm going to start with my light old olive. Okay. And with that, usually if you know me, I like to outline the edges with the dark, but for this particular card, I'm just doing light over the leaves, and I just kind of scribbled, and I didn't even go over necessarily 100% of it. If there was some areas of light or white, I just let that be. And for me, that was kind of interesting that I let that happen, because that's not like me. And so I'm just going to go over this all, and then I'm going to go back and just highlight some areas that are going to have the dark old olive. So this part was easy. People got this. They succeeded at this, so that's good. And I think it'll help for those that were at the class to see maybe how I did it. But I kind of explained too how I did my orange, so they'll be like, oh, no wonder, right? Okay, and then let me switch over. So that color's all done. My light olive is all done, and now I'm going to switch to my dark old olive. And like I said, I'm just going to kind of go in over those lines. Actually, just bring me closer. Nope, that's all the closer it gets. Oops, there, but I can do that maybe. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Kathy, we saved this for last so we didn't have to concentrate on the orange. Oh, I get it, orange concentrate, get it? No, I'm just teasing. Yes, and like I said, I tried to, a couple people hid theirs away. I'm like, get them out. We're gonna look and see what your guys' oranges turned out looking like, because if we can ever learn, that's a good thing. Okay, so I'm going over the lines, and then I'm just carefully going over these stems. Careful so that I don't accidentally go out of the lines. Okay, so now the old olive's all done. So next, what I'm going to do, the next easy one, lemon lolly. Okay, so we've got dark and light, same thing. I'm going to start with my light here and just kind of cruise over the leaves. If I leave out some, you're not going to know. And some of you might giggle and go, of course we're not going to know, because everybody's going to be focusing on our orange that looks like it's bruised. So nobody's going to be looking at our lemon flower, our orange flower petals, right? So there again, just coloring in most of it, leaving some of it white. Now I'm going to switch to lemon lolly dark. Just going over the base of those flowers and just a couple of the lines. And then the centers, and branching out with the lines that are part of those flowers. Okay, you don't have to be a perfectionist when it comes to this. You can just kind of just color and add lines. All right, so here, hello Missy, happy Tuesday to you too. Here's where the going gets good. Okay, this orange has a lot of markers to it, so I'm going to start with our light Cajun Craze. And you might go, here, I've got some right here, like That's how dark the that Cajun Craze color is. My friend Carol, it's her favorite color, and so that seems maybe dark, but this is just going to be my outline. So I'm going to go over all of this, and you might even go, gosh, that almost makes it look brown, but that's okay. That's where we're going to get our depth from to start with. So I'm just tracing this whole circle around there and then around that stem. That's all I'm doing with that. Like literally looks almost brown like that. So that's the light Cajun Craze. And then next I'm going to take the dark pumpkin pie, and I'm just going to pull that color and just kind of scribble next to it, overlapping so that we have some blending going. And then especially going out a little bit more if we've got these images that have the little bit of the flex that the artist put in there, and then taming it back down but coming out to catch any kind of fleck, because that's naturally telling us where the artist kind of wants to have some darker features. And I'm actually going to go across. I think this is where people went, oh no. So I have my dark pumpkin pie. I'm going over those dots in the center. Okay, so then next I'm going to take my light peach pie, and I'm just going to go over all of it. But the important thing is catching those edges and bringing that out into my project. Probably should have done the coloring first before I assembled my card, because like anything, once you let it set, then it's going to take on the color and stuff. So that's the light overall. Now I'm going to come back with a dark peach pie and just kind of do a little bit more blending along those edges there. Maybe a little bit there. Like so. Whoops. Let me pick that up. So there we have it. And because of the light, like it actually almost looks like, you know, it's taken away some of the color, but I love that. And so then some people, if theirs got too dark or too orange, especially in this area, I encourage them, go back and, well, I'll do it for you. Go back with the lemon lolly, the light or the dark. And then you can just go over that, and that's going to lighten things up too. So if you feel like, oh, I don't like that light, like you can't hardly wreck the alcohol markers. And so now you can see it lightening up just like that from the yellow. Or we have these fantastic color lifters. And so they're sold in the catalog too. Color lifter will actually take the color away. So I'm doing this with that lightest space, and so you can see like how that's and it'll take a minute or two to lighten up, but you can do that. So today's all about the lesson, guys, but now I kind of want it to look like it did. So I'm going to go back because I thought, man, that turned out really well the first time. How am I going to teach a lesson if it turned out well? So now this is the light peach pie, and I'm just going over all of it with the light peach pie. And I kind of like, you know, you can tell that that's taking on that color again, and it's not so light. And I'm going to grab just a bit of dark peach pie and go over this. So like I said, I would have been happy with it the first time, but I wanted to kind of have a lesson with that. So thank you, Jill. Yeah, and I am not like a colorer by trade. Like I have had people on my team that like they would spend a half an hour just on this, adding more color, getting the dark, pulling out the light, and it's just like, wow, like just watching them is mesmerizing. They remind me of those spray paint artists at like a fair or something. And so I know people that are that talented. That is not me. So I've learned though from them. So hopefully, yeah, this helps you too. And just keep coloring. Thank you guys. You guys are so complimentary. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit there, and then we will add the ribbon. Now, like I said, my goal was to put it underneath that white layer, but that's okay. So you guys love this ribbon, right? It's that navy and gold sparkly ribbon. Actually, it's called navy and gold glittered ribbon. And this is on the last chance list. It was $9. It's on sale for $8.10. Some of you were able to snag it when we had that last or second go around of celebration choices that they kind of surprise us with. So I got a bunch because I know I love it, especially at Christmas time. I use it quite a bit, and then I think, you know what, why wait till Christmas? I'm just going to pull it out when it fits for Navy. Like, I've been using my Navy cardstock a lot with that camping bundle. I don't know if the glitter and the camping would go together. I suppose you could make it look like glamping, and that would be kind of fun. But yeah, so, but I felt like for this, it's kind of special and looked like it fit. Now we're going to flip over our orange, and maybe it's done doing its thing. It's setting. That's what I call it, the setting. Kind of like if you're a bread maker, I suppose it would be the rising. I don't know. Not really skilled at that either. I wish I was. Although I have been making cinnamon rolls, and I have like a knockoff of Cinnabon, and that's been kind of fun. Okay, so this right here, I'm going to just kind of tuck, whoops, over top, and then just kind of push that so that the pretty bow sticks out. And I'm going to put this like at an angle there, like so. And then I'm just going to grab a couple more dimensionals here and put those on my sentiment, you're the best person. And that's just going to kind of sit right there. And I feel like that ties in with the yellows of the colors of the flowers and such too. So that works out really well. Now for the inside, you're the best kind of person. I like to make cards that are useful, just even to have on hand. And so with that, I'm just going to kind of take and ink up this kind of corner of the stamp. You could easily ink up the whole thing. And I'm just going to put that, the reason I say corner, because that's all that's going to show is just that right there. Let me grab and wipe that off right away so that when I tip this over to put on some adhesive, it doesn't grab that ink. So the reason I'm leaving this blank then in the inside is so when I need it, I can add my happy birthday or anything like that that I might want to. So we've got that. But then we're kind of following through with that same theme on the inside as on the outside. How different does that look though when you see that compared to that? Like same stamp, you would hardly know, but when it's done in the black and white, it just looks so different. So yeah, I'd say like jokingly, follow me for more inspiration on coloring. I don't even say that, but today's did turn out like, I was pretty pleased with that. Oops. Having trouble here with my tripod again. Maybe I just need a new tripod. I do have a new camera set up, but like anything, then I have to change what you guys see behind me, and so I'm just not ready to change and clean that up yet, but kind of, I'm getting there. All right, so that is coloring lesson, card number 1 for the day. Like I said, it's going to be a coloring day, so if I can get back, if time allows, with a second creation for you guys today, I would love to do that. That's going to be coloring, but like an easier version of coloring. Today was like very natural, or I mean card number 1, very natural looking. The next one will be kind of like almost whimsical looking too. So hi there, Donna. Yeah, if you have any questions, don't forget tomorrow free shipping. And so for some of you, it'll be the first time ordering either me for you or you on your own with the new rewards program. So, so if you need any help with that, please let me know. And some of you are already set up for success. Most of you are, and probably don't even know it. So, so that's always a good sign too. But, anyway, take care, and hopefully I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye.